Imagine a love story, a tale spun from devotion and trust. A woman stands at the heart of this story, her heart overflowing with love for her husband. He is her world, a man of steadfast faithfulness, a homebody who finds solace in the comfort of their shared life. His eyes hold no wandering gaze, no flicker of interest in the fleeting allure of others, yet a shadow lurks in the corners of her mind, a monster whispering doubts, fueling anxieties. This monster, my friends, is jealousy. It is a cruel beast, thriving in the fertile grounds of insecurity, transforming love's sweet nectar into a bitter poison. Our story begins with a question. Can this insidious monster, this jealousy, ever truly be vanquished? Jealousy, my friends, is not a solitary beast. It does not discriminate, lurking in the shadows of countless relationships, whispering its insidious doubts into the ears of men and women alike. It is a universal language, understood by hearts bound by love, friendship, and even familial ties. You see, jealousy is not confined to the passionate throes of romantic love. It rears its ugly head in the most unexpected of places, poisoning the well of even the most secure relationships. Consider the subtle pangs of jealousy that arise between siblings vying for their parents' attention, the competitive spirit that can sour a once unbreakable bond, or the envy that festers between friends, fueled by comparisons and a perceived imbalance in fortune or affection. Jealousy is a chameleon, adapting to its surroundings, finding fertile ground in the deepest recesses of the human heart, wherever insecurity takes root. It can manifest as a quiet unease, a nagging voice questioning our worth, or erupt in a torrent of anger and resentment, threatening to shatter the very foundation of our most cherished connections. The woman in our story, plagued by doubts about her husband's fidelity, represents just one facet of this complex emotion. But whether it's a husband questioning his wife's loyalty, a friend envious of another's success, or a sibling battling for their parents' love, the root of jealousy remains the same. Fear of loss, fear of inadequacy, fear of being replaced. This primal fear, my friends, is the lifeblood of the green-eyed monster. Jealousy is not a discerning guest. It doesn't limit itself to romantic love. It invades family, friendships, and professional arenas. Picture a young boy, confused by his parents' attention to a newborn sibling. The air now carries the weight of a new presence. He can't articulate his emotions, but his trembling lips speaks volumes. This is jealousy in its infancy. As we mature, jealousy evolves with our relationships. Childhood pangs become adult anxieties. A wife might feel insecure about her husband's late nights. Friends might feel inadequate when one achieves success. These scenarios share a common thread: fear of being replaced. Jealousy preys on our insecurities, urging us to question our connections. The Garden of Eden, a paradise lost, serves as a potent metaphor for the insidious nature of jealousy. Just as the serpent tempted Eve with the forbidden fruit, awakening within her a longing for that which was not hers to possess, so too does jealousy tempt us with its poisonous whispers. It sows seeds of doubt in the fertile ground of our insecurities, urging us to covet, to compare, and ultimately to question the very essence of our worth. Consider the dynamics within a family, a microcosm of love, loyalty, and, at times, simmering resentment. A mother, her identity deeply entwined with her role as caregiver, might find herself grappling with unexpected pangs of jealousy as her adult children navigate the complexities of their own lives, seeking guidance and support from partners, friends, or even therapists. The once unbreakable bond, the unwavering reliance on her wisdom and love, begins to loosen its grip, leaving her feeling adrift, her sense of purpose challenged. Similarly, friendships, those chosen families we cultivate throughout our lives, are not immune to the corrosive effects of jealousy. A promotion at work, a whirlwind romance, a seemingly effortless talent. These milestones, celebrated with genuine joy on the surface, can also trigger a maelstrom of conflicting emotions beneath the surface. The green-eyed monster, ever vigilant, seizes upon these vulnerabilities, whispering comparisons, fueling feelings of inadequacy and resentment. The serpent of jealousy, you see, doesn't discriminate. It slithers through the cracks of our most cherished relationships, tempting us with doubts, whispering anxieties, and ultimately threatening to poison the very essence of our connections. Section 3. The poisoned root when jealousy takes hold. Jealousy is an alarm bell, often ringing without real danger. It thrives on misinterpretations and insecurities. Imagine a man deeply in love, but a seed of doubt distorts his perception. His mind transforms into a breeding ground for suspicion. Jealousy twists reality, creating a toxic atmosphere. The poisoned root spreads, choking love and trust. The foundation of the relationship crumbles under suspicion. Love's distortion field. Jealousy often finds a willing accomplice in the exaggerated ego. Love's intense focus can distort our perceptions, magnifying our sense of self-importance. We see ourselves as the sun around which our loved one orbits. This illusion sets the stage for jealousy. Any perceived threat to our position feels like a betrayal. The exaggerated ego distorts our perceptions, setting the stage for jealousy. Section 2. The mind unsound. Jealousy's grip on sanity. Jealousy, at its core, is a form of temporary insanity. It is a state of mind where logic and reason are held captive by a torrent of irrational thoughts and suspicions. The jealous mind, like a ship caught in a raging storm, is tossed about by waves of doubt, fear, and insecurity, unable to find its bearings or steer a steady course. Consider for a moment the experience of our friend in the story, the woman tormented by suspicions about her faithful husband. She knows deep down that her fears are unfounded, that his love for her is unwavering, and yet she cannot silence the insidious voice of jealousy, the one that whispers doubts into her ear, urging her to interpret every interaction, every glance, every word as evidence of his betrayal. Her mind, once a sanctuary of love and trust, becomes a breeding ground for worst-case scenarios. She conjures up images of him with other women, fabricates conversations, and invents situations that exist only within the confines of her own tortured imagination. She becomes a prisoner of her own thoughts, her every waking moment consumed by suspicion and doubt. This, my friends, is the cruel irony of jealousy. It thrives on the very thing it seeks to protect: love. It takes the most precious gift we have, the bond we share with another human being, and twists it into a weapon, turning our love against us and driving a wedge between us and the very person we hold most dear. The jealous mind, you see, is a dangerous place to reside. It is a breeding ground for paranoia, resentment, and ultimately self-destruction. Section 3. The shadow of inferiority, a breeding ground for doubt. Jealousy often finds fertile ground in those grappling with feelings of inadequacy. The shadow of inferiority looms large, casting doubts into our minds. It whispers that we are not good enough, not worthy of love. Imagine a woman, deeply in love, yet plagued by self-doubt. She sees herself through a distorted lens, focusing on flaws. Every other woman becomes a threat, a potential rival. She compares herself relentlessly, finding herself lacking, their beauty and accomplishments magnified, hers in shadow. She fears her partner will see her as a fraud. This is the insidious nature of the inferiority complex. It feeds on insecurities, amplifying doubts and fears. It convinces us we are unworthy of love. Jealousy, fueled by inadequacy, poisons strong bonds. It creates a cycle of self-sabotage, rejecting love. Section 1. The bitter harvest reaping jealousy's destructive rewards. Jealousy, my friends, is not a passive observer in the garden of love. It is an active agent of destruction, a weed that, left unchecked, will choke the life out of even the most vibrant relationships. It thrives on conflict, drawing nourishment from the bitter seeds of suspicion, resentment, and mistrust. The once harmonious symphony of love becomes a discordant cacophony of accusations and anger. Imagine a couple seated across from each other, their faces etched with hurt and anger. What began as a simple conversation has spiraled into a full-blown inquisition. Every word is laced with suspicion, every glance scrutinized for hidden meanings. The air crackles with tension, the weight of unspoken accusations hanging heavy between them. This, my friends, is the bitter harvest of jealousy, where love's tender embrace is replaced by suspicion. The jealous heart is a fertile ground for conflict. It magnifies slights, transforming innocent gestures into acts of betrayal. It thrives on drama, seeking validation for its unfounded fears. As seeds of doubt spread, they poison the relationship, eroding trust and intimacy. The once unbreakable bond begins to fray. leaving behind broken promises and shattered illusions. Section 2. The walls we build. Jealousy's imprisoning embrace. Jealousy, my friends, is not content with merely sowing seeds of discord. It seeks to exert its control, to confine and constrict, transforming the once spacious landscape of love into a claustrophobic prison. It erects walls of suspicion, bars of interrogation, and shackles of control, imprisoning both the jealous and the accused in a suffocating embrace. Imagine, if you will, a woman who lives in constant fear of her partner's infidelity. Every interaction with the opposite sex, no matter how innocent or fleeting, is viewed through the distorted lens of suspicion. Her days are spent monitoring his every move, scrutinizing his phone calls, and analyzing his online activity. She bombards him with questions, demanding detailed accounts of his whereabouts, seeking reassurance that exists only to be immediately doubted. The man, initially bewildered by these accusations, finds himself walking on eggshells, his every action subject to scrutiny and misinterpretation. He curtails his social interactions, avoids contact with female colleagues, and silences his own need for connection and friendship, all in a futile attempt to appease her insatiable need for control. But jealousy, my friends, is a ravenous beast, its appetite for control insatiable. The more he concedes, the more she demands, her suspicions fueled by his every attempt to prove his innocence. The walls of her making close in, suffocating the very love she so desperately seeks to protect. What began as a desire to hold on to her partner, to shield him from temptation, becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Her suffocating control, her constant accusations, and her unwillingness to trust push him further and further away, creating the very distance, the very betrayal she fears most. Section 3. A slap in the face. The insult of jealous accusations. Jealousy, in its haste to protect its perceived territory, often overlooks the most profound casualty of its rampage, the dignity of the accused. Every unfounded accusation, every suspicious glance is a slap in the face to trust and respect in a relationship. Imagine a man whose every word is met with suspicion by the woman he loves. He's constantly on trial, defending his character against baseless charges. His attempts to reassure her are met with skepticism, his love dismissed as lies. How long can one endure such treatment without their spirit breaking? How long can one maintain self-worth when viewed with suspicion and distrust? The constant barrage of accusations chips away at self-esteem, eroding their sense of masculinity and essence as a loving partner. Jealousy is not just insecurity, it is an act of aggression. It is a verbal assault on character, leaving invisible scars that fester. It betrays intimacy, the unspoken agreement to trust in each other's goodness, believing in their worthiness of love and respect. To accuse without cause inflicts a pain deeper than any physical wound. It plants a seed of doubt that can blossom into irreparable damage to the relationship. Section 1. Taming the green-eyed monster, a call to reason. Jealousy, my friends, thrives in the shadows of irrationality. It feeds on our insecurities, amplifying our fears and distorting our perceptions. To tame this beast, to silence its insidious whispers, we must first shed the light of reason upon its lair. We must step back from the precipice of our anxieties and examine the situation with a clear and objective eye. Remember our friend, the woman, tormented by doubts about her faithful husband. Let us imagine her now taking a deep breath, a conscious decision to step back from the swirling vortex of her fears. She reminds herself of his unwavering love, his consistent actions that speak louder than any whispered suspicion. She recalls the countless moments of shared joy, the unwavering support, the deep and abiding affection that has been the bedrock of their relationship. This, my friends, is the first step towards taming the green-eyed monster, grounding ourselves in reality, in the solid evidence of love and fidelity that exists beyond the distorted lens of our anxieties. It is about challenging the negative narratives that play on repeat in our minds, replacing them with the soothing melody of truth. Ask yourself, is there truly any concrete evidence to support your suspicions, or are you allowing your fears, your insecurities, to paint a false narrative, to cast shadows where there is only light? Remember, my friends, love thrives on trust. A trust built not on blind faith but on a foundation of mutual respect, open communication, and a willingness to confront our fears with honesty and courage. Section 2. Rebuilding Trust's Foundation. A shared endeavor. Trust, my friends, is not a passive state of being. It is not something that simply exists, bestowed upon us like a gift from the heavens. No, trust is an active choice, a conscious decision we make each and every day to believe in the goodness, the integrity, the unwavering love of another human being. And like any structure, any edifice designed to withstand the tests of time and circumstance, trust requires a solid foundation. Imagine, if you will, a couple standing side by side, their hands intertwined, gazing upon the ruins of their once unbreakable bond. The walls of trust, once seemingly impenetrable, have crumbled under the weight of suspicion, accusations, and the corrosive effects of jealousy. But amidst the rubble, a flicker of hope remains, a shared desire to rebuild what has been lost. The first step, my friends, is communication, honest and heartfelt. It is about creating a safe space where both partners feel heard, validated, and understood. The jealous partner must find the courage to express their fears, not as accusations, but as vulnerabilities, as anxieties that stem from a place of deep love and a fear of loss. The accused, in turn, must resist the urge to become defensive, to meet suspicion with anger. Instead, they must summon reserves of empathy and compassion, recognizing that their partner's jealousy, however misplaced, is often a reflection of their own insecurities and a testament to the depth of their love. Rebuilding trust, you see, is a collaborative effort, a shared commitment to dismantle the walls of suspicion, brick by brick, replacing them with bridges of understanding, empathy, and unwavering support. Section 3. The courage to trust, embracing vulnerability. To conquer jealousy, we must trust in our partners and ourselves, confront insecurities that whisper doubts and undermine our happiness. Imagine a woman before a mirror, seeing her invisible scars and self-doubt. In this moment of vulnerability, she chooses self-love and worthiness. Embracing our vulnerabilities unlocks our greatest strength. Acknowledge fears to find the courage to face them head-on. Love and accept ourselves to create space for unconditional love. Unmasking jealousy's illusion. Jealousy is a master illusionist. It distorts reality, weaving suspicion and doubt. It holds a distorted mirror reflecting amplified anxieties. But with careful observation, we can dismantle this illusion, expose its flimsy framework, and reclaim our hearts. Remember the woman tormented by doubts? Imagine her now, relaxed and smiling, anxiety replaced by peace and trust. This is not magic, but the victory of reason and communication. Love endures, stronger and more resilient. True love does not confine or control. It does not thrive on suspicion. True love celebrates freedom and mutual respect. Section 2. The gift of trust, a testament to love's enduring power. True love is a sturdy oak, its roots running deep in trust, respect, and unwavering commitment. The greatest gift is the freedom to be oneself, navigating the world with confidence. Love is tested and refined in the crucible of trust, emerging stronger and more resilient. It is a testament to love's enduring power to conquer fear and illuminate the path forward.